What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your man Chazz Ellis once again giving you the information that you asked me for. What I've been doing, and y'all probably don't know this, some of y'all do because I answer you and everything, but I read the comments that you put below in the comment section of the videos that I make. And most time you guys have a lot of good comments. I agree with some of them, I don't agree with some of them. But everybody generally has something to say and is usually pretty respectful, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, you have some people who track every single video and just say some stuff, you know, on every video. They got something bad to say. And I'm like, why do y'all still watch? You know, I'm not getting it. Why do you still watch the videos if you don't like anything I have to say? It's just crazy. But anyway, what I decided to do was, because I was actually watching, or I was looking at the comment section on one of my videos, and it was let me look. I think it was the top mistakes. Yeah, top mistakes to get women dumped in the first 90 days. Okay, so I'm watching this, or I'm looking at the comment section on this video, and I saw someone leave a comment that was kind of curious. I was like, you know, and it made me want to say, because when I read the comment, I was like, wow, this is how a lot of women think. And this is one of the most damaging things to the average woman. You know, it's like, this is how you think. This is how a lot of women think. And this is what causes a lot of women to have the problems that they have in relationships and dealing with men. So what I decided to do, and I'm going to do this with more comments where I'm going to take comments that I agree with, comments I don't agree with, and I'm going to kind of break them down a little bit to what I feel so that people can get something out of it. It's not to belittle anybody if I break a comment down that I don't like or that I didn't necessarily agree with or I thought people could learn from. It's just me trying to help people learn. It's not me trying to belittle the person. I'm not going to use a person's name or anything like that. So anyway, here's what the person wrote. Wow, it's getting harder to find a man who doesn't live by so many rules. I want you guys to think about this comment. Wow, it's getting harder to find a man that doesn't live by so many rules. And there's more to the comment, but this is like I'm breaking it down section by section so you can kind of understand what this person is saying. And what's the real code that's here. Because a lot of you women get this information from other women and you're like, yeah, you know what, you're right. These guys are living by a bunch of rules. But what exactly are you saying? I can't find anybody that will accept what I want to do in a relationship and be okay with that. This has become a syndrome for a lot of women. I call it Cinderella syndrome. I'm sure that's probably been said before because Cinderella is so popular. It has to have been. I just hadn't heard it, but that doesn't mean that I'm not saying that's an original name for it. You call it pretty woman syndrome, whatever. But that's what this reflects. Wow, it's getting harder to find a man that doesn't live by so many rules. These are things that get you dumped within the first 90 days. So what are you saying? You're saying, I want to come into a relationship and basically just do what I want to do. I want to get a good guy because nobody wants a bum. Because bums actually don't live by any rules. There's a lot of guys who don't live by any rules, but clearly you're not trying to attract those guys. You're not trying to be in a relationship with those guys. You're trying to be with guys who live by rules, who govern their lives by certain rules. You're trying to be with that type of person. Because if you want to be with a guy that's going to go to jail every week, he doesn't have any rules or standards. He doesn't care. If you want to be with a guy who is never going to get a job and never going to do anything with his life, he's not going to have any rules or standards. So you clearly want somebody better than that, but you don't want them to have any rules or standards for you. That's the Cinderella syndrome. What a lot of women have been programmed with from the time that they were little babies. Think about the stories. Cinderella is some girl who is mistreated by her stepmother, cleans up the house all the time. Fairy godmother comes along, gives her a dress, some shoes and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, she's qualified to marry a prince. She doesn't get some regular dude that's in her situation. She gets a prince. So regular girl marries a prince. Pretty Woman is even a worse situation where this hooker gets picked up by some millionaire and all of a sudden he wants to marry her. Millionaires marry hookers. That's basically what. You don't have to be anything. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to be somebody who has a lot going for him. You could just be a hooker and you get a millionaire. So women have been programmed over time to feel like a man has to achieve some status to be worthy of a woman, but you just come as you are. And it's crazy for a guy to expect anything more or anything else from you. It's crazy for a guy to have standards and rules for the type of woman that he's going to be with. That's how a lot of women have been programmed to think, and they don't even know it. I want you to look at your Facebook feed today. Just take a look at it, your Twitter feed, whatever. Take a look at any of those things, Instagram, anything. And I want you to see all the memes telling men what they're supposed to do. And I want you to compare that to all of the memes telling women what they're supposed to do. And usually if you see one that tells a woman what she's supposed to do, is like this. A real woman can handle everything in her life, but a real man won't let her. That's what a man's supposed to do. A real woman's not afraid to cry, but a man's supposed to dry her tears. Always about a man and what he's supposed to do. See, this is a syndrome. This is somebody telling you that no matter what you are, no matter who you are, you're going to find this great guy and he's wrong to have standards for what he wants his woman to be. He's wrong to disqualify women if they're not what he wants them to be, or they're not up to his standard. This guy's supposed to work his whole life and achieve all these great goals and then just get with whatever woman comes along because you're great because it's you. That's a problem that a lot of women have. And the problem it keeps existing because nobody tells them. Your friends all shake their head and go, mm-hmm, girl, you right. Mm-hmm. Who he think he is telling you that you got to get a job? Okay, he's supposed to have a job. He's supposed to support you. Okay, girl, who does he think he is saying that he don't want to be with somebody who has sex with everybody on the first date? Okay, that's your past. I know it happened yesterday, but that's your past, girl. See, this is what your friends do. And over time, you've been indoctrinated with this thought process that the world owes you something. This is that Cinderella syndrome. Okay, here's another part of it. Total turnoff. That's what she says. So she's basically saying, wow, it's getting harder to find a man who doesn't live by so many rules. Total turnoff. What does that mean? Total turnoff. So a man who has rules for himself in his relationship, that's a total turnoff. But let's go back to what the video was called. Top mistakes that get women dumped in the first 90 days. So that means that it doesn't matter if it's a turnoff. He's already dumped you in the first 90 days. He doesn't want you. So why does the turnoff aspect matter? So what you're basically saying is, I don't feel I can live up to these standards, so I'm just going to say forget it. That's the total turnoff. Look, I still would like to be with this person. I still find this type of person attractive. And I still want a relationship. But I don't feel like I can live up to these standards. This is taking work to find the person that I want to be with. So, it's too much. I'm just going to throw my hands up at it. I'm going to call it a total turnoff. I don't want to keep trying. That's part of it. I throw up my hands. I throw up my hands, but instead of saying, well, I can't, instead of saying what I just said, I don't feel like I can live up to these standards, it's a total turnoff. That's the sour grapes mentality that a lot of women have. It's the sour grapes mentality. And a lot of people have it. That's not just women. A lot of people have this sour grapes mentality. Like, I can't get what I want I don't think that I can attract the person that I want. This person doesn't want me, so here's what I'm going to do. Oh, total turn off that you wanted that. Total turn off that you wanted things that I wasn't willing to do. Total turn off. I don't like that. So I have a cousin. Nice dude. He really is a nice guy. He's actually a really intelligent dude too. But he has this type of mentality too. But it's not about necessarily relationship. He has this type of mentality about life in general. He's always like, I'm not trying to get no job. I'm not trying to be out here doing all this mess and all this nonsense. Like I told him, why don't you go back to school? Because he's actually a really smart guy. He does really well in school when he goes. I ain't trying to go over there and do these tricks for the white man in school. Forget all that. I was like, why don't you go to a black college? It's still the same thing. They run by the same people. They're not going to get me off up in there kissing their asses. Well, why don't you get a job? Man, I ain't trying to go up there to no job interview and be kissing these people's ass. I don't got time for that, man. Don't nobody want these jobs. Don't nobody want to be over here doing this stuff and man, yada, 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 all this nonsense for these people. Forget that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real nigga. I don't do that. So, that's part of the sour grapes thing. Is that people also believe that other people care. Like, total turn off. I don't want to deal with you. Total turn off. People don't care. Like, but see, that's your friends and family members. What people do often, because when he tells me some stuff like that, I'm like, well, these people already got a job. They really don't care if you don't want to go to the interview. These people already got their degree. They don't really care if you don't want to go to school. Stay here and be broke. Simple as that. But what you see from people is their friends and family over their lifetime has told them that the world gives a damn about them. Total turnoff. I'm not gonna deal with that. Like a line of dudes that's sitting up there in the world going, oh my God, my standards have cost me the opportunity to go out with you. They don't care. Nobody cares. No one's going to be missing you. That's what you have to understand. Like, when you sit here and say, I decide to be single for the rest of my life. I decide I don't want to talk to any of these people. I decide I want to lower my standards and because I don't want to live up to any standards. I want to lower my standards to where I'm dating a thug that goes to jail every week. You're hurting yourself and no one cares about you. I'm being real with you. I'm telling you the things that people won't tell you. I know a lot of y'all get mad at me for this. And some of y'all be upset and y'all put all kinds of comments in the comment box. But at the end of the day, I'm being real with you and telling you nobody cares. People don't care if you drop out of society. People don't care if you drop out of the dating game. As a matter of fact, people want you to drop out of the dating game because it only makes it easier for everyone else. They want you to leave. Bye. Okay. Now here's another thing. This is another part of her statement. I would never date someone that can't keep up intellectually. That's what she says. This is another part of the battle cry of the defeated. I would never date someone who can't keep up intellectually. Here's what she's saying. I'm going to bring up something totally unrelated to make being single seem like a conscious choice so that I don't have to feel like I'm being rejected and that this will also be a key phrase to get others to agree with me. See, she knows that if I write down they can't compete on my intellectual level because I'm so far up here. Every guy who has these standards and rules for himself, even if the person who has these standards and rules for himself is a senator of whatever, it doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't matter where he's senator of. Somewhere. He's a president of the United States. He's a president of a company. He's a CEO of a company. And even though he's on this high level, my intellectual level is so far above that of him and everyone else that I don't need to be in a relationship with anybody. See, what that does is it basically says, look, I don't want to admit that I just haven't figured the game out, haven't figured the system out. I don't feel like I can compete in the system the way it is. I'm making these mistakes that are causing me to get dumped. And I don't see where I can stop. or I'm not willing to do the work to stop. So these people aren't on my intellectual level. No, they're not. They're not with me. They're not on my intellectual level. And that applies to anyone. So you're smarter than everybody. You're intellectually superior to everybody. Well, you're selfish. You're a really selfish person. Because why did you not cure cancer? You're really being a dick. You're so intellectually superior to the rest of us, but you decided not to cure cancer? You decided not to cure AIDS? You decided not to stop starvation and homelessness? You didn't want to tackle any of those things? With your large, huge, superior brain, you didn't want to tackle any of that? Really? Kind of a jerk. I mean, I have to say, kind of an underachiever also. Like, you should own Google. You should own, I shouldn't even be able to talk. You should own all these computer systems if you're so much superior to the rest of the people in the world. But what it really is that's something that people like to say. Because now I can say, I'm single because I want to be. I'm single because there's nobody on my level. I'm single because there's nobody as good as me. I'm single because I'm better than everyone else. Rather than saying, I'm single because I haven't been able to figure out how to navigate the system. How to get somebody to be interested in me. I'm not willing to do the things that it takes. So, the reason why I went over this comment is because this comment is indicative of the way a lot of women think. And this is what a lot of you guys tell each other. And it goes unchecked. Constantly. So, it starts, even when you know it's bullcrap, it starts to creep into your subconscious and you start to believe that. You start to believe that nonsense, and that's why you end up dealing with the things you deal with. And that's a problem for a lot of women. That's really a problem for a lot of women. And it's sad because with guys, we're a little bit different towards each other. That's not to say we're better or whatever, but if a guy was to make a statement, yo, I'm tired of these girls with all these standards and these rules, you know what I'm saying, having all these rules and regulations and saying, you know what I'm saying, brother got to have a job and brother got to do this and got to do that to get with her and stuff. You know what I'm saying, I'm tired of that, bruh. I don't even want to deal with no girl like that. We would be like, well, why don't you deal with one of these hoes out here that let anybody smash? I mean, I don't want that either. What do you need to be by yourself? Guys will tell you straight up, man, get out of here with that nonsense. We talk to each other like that. That's really our only advantage. That's really about it. Our only real advantage is the fact that we have a greater level of honesty with each other that women usually just don't have. Y'all sit there and read some stuff like this and co-sign it. You know, and this isn't from a dumb person, I don't think. This comment doesn't come from a dumb person. This comment comes from years and years and years of being programmed to think this way. So, I'm breaking down some of these comments for you. Hopefully they'll help people out because you can learn from other people. Like I said, I'm going to break down the good ones and the ones that I thought they really... Because I think this is a good comment. You know, because I think it does go into it deep. It goes into the psyche of a woman who is deciding to say, you know what, I throw my hands up or whatever the case is, and why people have such trouble changing. So I think it's a good comment. But anyway, we're going to go into all kinds of comments. Hit me up on AskChazzEllis on Facebook. Also, check out my website, thechazzellisproject.com. And I want you guys to make sure that you like and subscribe. Share this with somebody that you think needs to listen to it or watch it. Even if you don't think they need to watch it, and you just want to share it anyway so they can comment and talk about me or whatever. I don't know. Whatever they decide to do. Go ahead and share that. So, it's your man Chazz Ellis. Like and subscribe. Peace.